Wow, the quiz damn hard, yeah.
Yeah, well.
Wow, guys, a bit hungry, sir.
Oh,
What?
I know one place omakase damn good.
Really?
Okay, lor. That sounds like a good idea. Lor.
Let's go.
Let's go. Irashaimase.
Upon ordering.
Hey. Itadakimasu.
Have you ever struggled with splitting a pair of disposable wooden chopsticks only to end up with one jack and one spoon end? You are not alone. Uneven splitting is a surprisingly common frustration among diners worldwide. But beyond the annoyance, there's a bigger issue at stake. Restaurant owners often have to throw away defective chopsticks to maintain customer satisfaction. This makes them ordering more chopsticks than necessary, which increases their operation costs. But more importantly, this practice leads to greater wood consumption, contributing to unnecessary waste and accelerating deforestation. In other words, what seems like a minor dining inconvenience actually has serious sustainability implications. More trees are being cut down for chopsticks that may not even be used, pushing us away from environmental goals. So, while uneven chopsticks may feel like a small problem, they point to a much larger issue, one that affects businesses, forests, and our planet.
Now that we have introduced the problem, let's take a closer look at the variables involved in our analysis. In our study, the dependent variable is the difference in weight between the two split chopsticks. This helps us to measure how uneven the chopsticks are after they have been broken. A higher weight difference means a more uneven split, which is exactly what we are trying to understand. Next, we have our independent variables. These are the factors that we believe may influence the weight difference. The first IV is the distance, which refers to the length from the top of the chopsticks to the point where it splits. The second IV is a categorical variable, which is the number of fingers used on each hand during the split. For example, some people use 2 fingers while others use 3. The last IV is the star. This measures the length of the chopsticks that are still joined or stuck together before being broken.
To ensure the accuracy of the statistical analysis, our data is assumed to be independent and identically distributed. This means that the splitting of a set of chopsticks does not affect the splitting of another set of chopsticks. Also, the relationship between the evenness of splitting of chopsticks and the independent variables follows the same underlying pattern across all trials. To maintain the IID assumption, we standardized conditions such as chopsticks brands, room temperature, and breaking techniques. We also recorded the data by inviting different people to split the chopsticks to ensure randomness. In this analysis, we also made use of the central limit theorem. Since we collected the data from 30 different chopstick splits, we can assume that the distribution of the sample mean will become close to a normal distribution, and that can help us to estimate population mean.
We have concluded our hypothesis, in which, upon breaking, the average weight of the first disposable chopstick is the same as the average weight of the second disposable chopstick, where μ1 is the average weight of the first chopstick and μ2 is the average weight of the second chopstick. As such, our null hypothesis is μ1 equals to μ2, and our alternative hypothesis is μ1 is not equals to μ2. Here's what we have found. Using the t-test, we found that the p-value is 2.2 times 10 to the power of negative 60, which is a really small value. In addition, the mean weight of the chopstick is at 0.02042 grams, with a standard deviation of 0.00308111 grams. Therefore, at 99% confidence level, this gives us strong evidence to reject the null hypothesis.
We did a regression analysis through the summary function in RStudio. For the continuous variable distance, which measures the length from the top of the chopsticks to the splitting point, we found that a 1 cm increase in distance causes a 0.001760 grams increase in the average distance between the split chopsticks. At a significant level of 0.10, the p-value of distance, which is 8.97 times 10 to the power of negative 5, is well below the level of significance. This is strong evidence that we should reject H0. This also proves that the relationship between distance and weight is statistically significant and not due to random chance. For the categorical variable fingers, which counts the number of fingers on each hand used to split the chopsticks, we used the factor function in RStudio, which was used to observe the difference in average weight difference between the split chopsticks when 2 and 3 fingers were used. Using 2 fingers causes a 0.01377 grams increase in weight variable on average, while using 3 fingers causes a 0.00567 grams decrease in weight variable on average. This shows that generally, using 3 fingers on each hand rather than 2 will allow us to split the chopsticks more equally. For continuous variable stuck, which measures the length of chopsticks stuck together, the regression analysis resulted in a p-value of 0.111, which was above our level of significance of 0.10. This shows that our stuck variable is not statistically significant and its relationship with weight is weak. This proves that changes in the length of chopsticks stuck together does not strongly affect how evenly the chopsticks are split.
So now the only question left is, what can we do to improve the accuracy of pulling the perfect pair? Well, first, after experimenting with a large enough sample size, we mark the perfect distance to pull the perfect pair every time without fail. Lastly, just like we studied AB1202 more to pull our grades, we suggest using 3 fingers instead of 2 to increase the pulling strength while splitting the chopsticks apart. Finally, you will end up with the perfect pair of chopsticks and your OCD is now cured.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god! What is that?
Introducing the newest innovation, the Perfect Pair 1.0. With the newly added splitting point and finger placement, it has been tested as high 99.99% accuracy that when you split at this point, you get the perfect pair of chopsticks.
Oh my god!